Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are at the Pokemon Video Championships regional matches in Comic Fiesta. I'm your host Ismat Myron, and I'll be your host commentating round 3. For our contestants over here, we have Zarif and Zain over here. We're about to pull up their matches, their teams online on screen right now. Going into round 3 here, we've seen many players and many teams involved around the metagame. Yeah, we've seen a many variety of Pokemon as we see here. Mainly the usage statistics we can see. Many players tend to run Landorus T, Kangaskhan, and surprisingly number 3 going into Aegislash. Alright, as we can see here, the players are getting ready over here. Now Zain's going up against a Goliath over here, as we can see Zarif, as he is attended the World Championships this year. Although he didn't make it into day 2, he has finished in day 1 with a solid ranking. Alright, as we can see both contestants over here, Zarif's on your right and he is rocking the Kangaskhan, Landorus T, Sylveon, Cresselia, Amoonguss and Talonflame, while Zain on your left is running Politoed, Mawile, Tyranitar, Blaziken, Gothitelle and Gastrodon. Clearly for the Mega Evolutions you can see on your left here from Zain, it's a high possibility it could be Mawile over here, because Blaziken could be run as it is, either special or physical. Depending on how Zain runs his team over here. As we see a Gothitelle over there, possibly a Perish Trap, not necessarily a Perish Trap, but most likely Shadow Tag, trapping the big threats that Zarif might bring to the battle. While clearly on Zarif's side, it's clearly a Mega Kangaskhan over here. None of the other Pokemon could Mega Evolve here in the tier. As we see a lot of slow threats on Zarif's side over here from the Sylveon, Amoonguss and Cresselia, while Talonflame could provide Tailwind support possibility, or with the priority Brave Bird. Now both players are selecting their threats on who to bring against each other, as they're both very well-known players, as they're very skilled in the Pokemon competitions over here. And the matches is live, everyone. Both players have locked inside their Pokemon and we get into the arena. On the screen above, we can see Zarif leading out his Pokemon off. Zain is leading off with Mawile and Gothitelle, while Zarif leads off with cute nicknames over here, but he leads off with Sylveon and Amoonguss. Now Amoonguss on Zarif's side here could provide Rage Powder redirection against Zain's possible Mawile or Gothitelle. But they're both in a very particular good spot over here, particularly on Zain's side over here, as the Mawile could provide Iron Head threat against the Sylveon, while the Gothitelle could provide a major psychic damage attack on the Amoonguss. As we see over here, the Sylveon does reveal Protect, possibly not a choice item on the Sylveon. And we see Mawile Protect as well. Possibly Zain setting up the Trick Room over here, but as he goes for the Psychic onto Amoonguss, good read over here. Do we see the Amoonguss going for a Spore onto either Gothitelle or Mawile? As you see, it does go for a Spore on the Mawile. That's a solid turn over here as we see for Zain, as he has dealt damage against Zarif's side over here. Now Zarif has to make a good comeback over here, as he only has one potential threat in the field over here. In order to save the Sylveon from getting hit with an Iron Hit from the Mawile, he needs to redirect the attack, or he could put out a switch over here, but that's impossible with the Shadow Tag from Gothitelle. As we see a Mawile Mega Evolving over here, possibly going for an Iron Hit or a Play Rough, depending on the reads that we see from Zarif over here. As you see, a Hidden Power, possibly Fire or Ground against the Mawile, as it does above 50% damage over here. And we see an Iron Hit going to Sylveon. Is that a one-hit KO? It is a one-hit KO, ladies and gentlemen. Zarif is down 3-4 against Zain over here, as the Amoonguss will take some more psychic damage. That looks like a 3-hit KO over here, ladies folks, as it is a 3-hit KO, and we do see a Spore protected by Safety Goggles on Zain's Gothitelle over here. Now that was kind of a dead turn for Zarif, as he's lost Sylveon and his Amoonguss is severely damaged. Now the thing is, Zain could most likely leave the Amoonguss unintended here and target the Landorus side over here, as Amoonguss can't switch out and he's already by death's door over here. Now, clearly, the Amoonguss would like to Rage Powder the threat, but if you were to, if Zarif would use Earthquake, he might be hitting the Amoonguss, but it would deal significantly more damage onto Mawile. Now, I'm not sure if the Landorus on Zarif's side here is choice. We'll have to see, as we see a safe protect from Gothitelle on Zain's side over here, and no protects coming from Mawile. So we see Zarif paying heavily for that prediction as he goes for a play rough onto Landorus T, and we see a Spore coming out from Amoonguss onto Mega Mawile. Now that can buy a turn off for Zarif over here, leaving the bigger threat, which is Mega Mawile, off the not attacking for a turn. But easily Zain could pull out a switch here, possibly into either Polito in the back or Gastrodon. We'll have to see the play here, but Zarif has to make a big comeback over here as we see a knockoff again onto Gothitelle. Possibly Choice Specs. As we see the knockoff going to Gothitelle. Gothitelle would most likely like to knock out the Amoonguss right now as it could Spore it, as we do see the Psychic going onto Amoonguss. Good prediction here from Zain. Now Zarif is down 2-4 against Zain over here. Now who is his last Pokemon coming out here? Most likely Kangaskhan, as we do see the Kangaskhan over here. Now we're not sure if this Kangaskhan might run either Fake Out or Protect. Normally you don't see two of these moves on the same Kangaskhan. It's very rare as you're limiting your move pool over here. Now if the Landorus T is choice locked onto knockoff, that would be very difficult for Zarif to make a comeback, as he has not much way to deal with the Mega Mawile over here on Zain's side. The Gothitelle could be knocked out by any of the opponent's Pokemon right now, either Lando or Kangaskhan. But I'm pretty sure the main priority for Zarif right now is to knock out the Mega Mawile, as it's providing a major threat for him. As we do see the withdrawal from Mawile, bringing in Tyranitar. Now do we see Zarif making the prediction here? Knocking out either the Gothitelle or attacking into the Tyranitar. If we see Zarif go with the knockoff on the Landorus T, clearly it is choice in some form or fashion, either choice Scarf or choice Band, as we do see a knockoff going onto the Tyranitar slot, getting rid of Weakness Policy. As we do see a Power Punch from Kangaskhan going into the Tyranitar, dealing super effective damage, getting into the +2 boost from the Parental Bond, as we do see, oh, that's not a crit. Now, that's a very good prediction, as we do see a Trick Room from Gothitelle. Now that makes Tyranitar possibly the fastest threat in the field for at least 4 turns going on to the field right now. But we can see a Sucker Punch play coming up from Kangaskhan going onto the Tyranitar, as his health points is very, very minimum. Now the Gothitelle could play a Psychic possibly into the Landorus, since it's definitely not Assault Vest, as we see it going faster than the Kangaskhan over here. As we do see a Sucker Punch possibly going into Tyranitar. Yes, it is going to Tyranitar, and it does pick up the KO over here, ladies and gentlemen. Now, would the Gothitelle target down the Kangaskhan or the Landorus? We'll have to find out. Possibly into Landorus. Yup, leaving one Pokemon on Zarif's side of the field here. Very minimum threats, and we do see a critical hit landing on the Landorus T. It might have mattered here. We'll have. Now we do. Gothitelle has one more turn before it faints, or if Zain decides to switch out the Gothitelle. But although Zarif seems down at this point by 1-3, he has a +2 Kangaskhan, but we'll have to see whether he has running the Double Edge or the Return to pull back into this game. Clearly, Kangaskhan's main threat is Gothitelle's partner over here. As we see, the Sandstorm will take out the Gothitelle the next turn. So I'm pretty sure the Pokemon that Zain will send out right now would decide the game right now. As he's picking his Pokemon wisely over here. Who could counter the Mega Kangaskhan? Probably the Blaziken, but we'll have to see whether he brought it into the game or not. If you were to send out Mega Mawile, it would be under Sucker Punch KO range, as we do see a Gastrodon. So we could possibly see a comeback here from Zarif, as he could easily take down the Gastrodon with either Double Edge or Return. We'll have to see which move he is running here, as we do see a Protect coming down from Gastrodon. So possibly sparing one more turn, as we do see a Psychic coming from Gothitelle, smartly targeting the Kangaskhan over here. Now that bought one turn for Zain to be in this match. If he could wake up with the Mega Mawile and pull off a play rough, or a Gastrodon pulling down an Earth Power or Skull onto the Kangaskhan, possibly picking out a burn with the Skull or an Earth Power knockout. That's his only win con over here. As clearly Mega Maul is not providing a threat for Kangaskhan at the moment since he's asleep, unless he pulls off a one turn wake up here from the sleep. Now we'll have to see the plays coming out from these players over here, especially Zain, as Zarif is pretty much in a... Or as we see that the Trick Room is up, clearly Zarif had to go for a Sucker Punch and he picked up the burn! Now this is a very critical condition, as I don't think there's any win con from Zarif's side over here, as the return coming up from Zarif's side is severely weakened and the burn definitely mattered. The return procced out the Citrus Berry and pulling it under 50%. But clearly in the next turn, even though the Sucker Punch will come out from the Mega Kangaskhan, I'm pretty sure it won't knock out Mega Mawile or Gastrodon over here. It's pretty much game at this point over here because of that significant burn. If regardless whether the burn was there or not, the Sandstorm would pick out the Mega Kangaskhan over here. Now it's yep, as we do see a Sucker Punch possibly going to Mega Mawile. Barely doing any damage over there, as we see both players shake hands. Even though a critical hit, it still did nothing, as we do see a Skull coming out from the Gastrodon, finishing up, closing up the game over here. And that is your game, boys. Zain has taken the lead on Zarif over here by 2-0. Yep. That is a very interesting round. The burn definitely played a big role, as although Zarif had the upper hand with the +2 power punch coming out from the power punch, he had no win con after that Skull burn that he received from Gastrodon. Well, folks, that is your round 3. I'm your host commentator Ismat Myron. We'll see you next round at round 4.